Hello, all. A warm welcome. Today, GYRA is proud to host its virtual symposium of the year 2025. Virtual Symposium is a key innovation of GYRA. This is an online platform designed to foster collaboration, learning, and idea sharing among students, researchers, and enthusiasts from diverse fields, and thus engage with cutting edge technologies, exchange insights, and explore transformative trends. We also have an invited keynote speaker at every symposium who shares their expertise on relevant and forward thinking topics. The GYRA Virtual Symposium is thus more than just an event. It is a digital experience that empowers participants to broaden their knowledge, forge connections, and spark innovative ideas in an ever evolving world. Reminding everyone watching this symposium that our students are in their early stages of research, I now invite Guardian Angel Public School to take over. Thank you.
The important thing is not to stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing. We expand our understanding and deepen our connection to the world through research. Good morning to all joining from India and good evening to all from the USA. Eminent dignitaries, esteemed guests, benevolent teachers, dear GYRA scholars, and participants in YouTube Live. Welcome to the GYRA Virtual Symposium, organized by the Global Young Researchers Academy and hosted by GYRA Public School in Manjummel, Kerala, India. Join us as we convene a community of curious thinkers, innovative minds, and passionate learners, all united by a shared pursuit of knowledge and excellence. Let us start this momentous occasion with blessings from the Almighty God. May I invite our school choir to the prayer song. Wherever I go, every moment your life in me flows. You're always there, close by my side. You are there, oh Lord, both day and night. You are with me in my mother's womb. You are with me in my days of gloom. You help me stand against all odds, and you fill me with your strength, O Lord. You are with me wherever I go. Every moment your life in me flows. You're always there, close by my side. You are there, oh Lord, both day and night. A heartfelt welcome sets the tone for any event. With great pressure, I call upon Ansa Fatima from Class A to formally welcome all the participants. Good morning all joining from India and good evening to all from the USA. It's my privilege to welcome you all to the virtual symposium organized by Guardian Angels Public School, Manjummel, Kerala in collaboration with Global Young Researchers Academy, GYRA. A special and heartfelt welcome to our esteemed chair, Dr. Jasmine Joseph, our distinguished speaker, Dr. Sharvari Deshpande, our respected principal, Reverend Father Vinu Joseph OCD, Vice Principal Ramsey Ma'am, the dedicated coordinator Joe Sir, and the esteemed GYRA officials and scholars. I am equally delighted to welcome all participants joining us from around the globe via YouTube. Today's symposium stands as a celebration of curiosity, innovation, and collaboration. It's a platform to inspire, mentor, and guide the next generation of researchers, serving as a testament to the power of knowledge and shared learning. We have an exciting day ahead, filled with thought-provoking presentations, and discussions that will illuminate the latest ideas and great thoughts across various fields. Thank you for being here, and let's make this symposium a memorable and enriching experience for everyone. Thank you, Ansa. I am privileged to welcome our respected principal, Reverend Father Billy Joseph OCD, to felicitate the symposium.
A warm greetings to respected chair for today's virtual symposium, Dr. Jasmine Joseph, the co-chair, Ms. Priya PV, the guest speaker for today, Dr. Sharvari Deshpande, other members of the GYRA team, Vice Principal Ramsey Ma'am, the other GYRA coaches of our school, Ramya Joseph and Nida Miss, and the GYRA scholars of our school who will be presenting the projects today, and other GYRA coaches and scholars of other schools, the parents, and all the live viewers will be watching this. I'm brimming with happiness, and at the same time, I'm also extremely proud to be part of this GYRA Virtual Symposium. There was a time when it was said that sky is the limit. But with the recent success of our SpaceX mission, the space docking experiment of our ISRO scientists, they have proved that sky is not the limit, but sky is just the playground. It was a historical step for our Indian space mission. And especially as we celebrate our Republic Day today, it's also a proud moment for us. And who knows, maybe some of our future ISRO scientists may be even sitting here. And I think God has put no limit to the capacities of man. The GYRA unit in our school, which began by the end of 2022, has since then been mentoring and guiding our students in scientific research, in building a scientific temperament in our children. Thus, they have been teaching and guiding our young minds to be innovative and to be creative. The aspect that resonated with me the most is that their research or their experiment is not based on some utopian ideas, but it begins by identifying the real concrete problems of our own locality and then finding a solution for them, encouraging them to think like a scientist, to have a systematic approach to problem solving. And on this occasion, I would like to thank the whole GYRA team, the coordinators, and all the team for their dedicated and altruistic service that they are rendering to the children of our school and also to all other young minds. And I also wish you all the best for the future undertakings and especially in building up our younger generation and wishing you all the best. May God bless you all.
Thank you, Father, for the thought-provoking and inspirational words. As a gesture of appreciation, we would like to present a memento to the coach, Mrs. Andrea Bernard of Rajagiri Seashore CMI Public School, for their exceptional efforts in organizing and hosting the successful GYRA Virtual Symposium on 24th November 2024. May I kindly request Reverend Father Vinny Joseph OCD, Principal of Guardian Hills Public School, to kindly do the honors.
Ms. Andrea Bernard, kindly accept the certificate of appreciation handed over to Rajagiri Seashore School, CMI School, Whitefield.
Thank you, Father. On behalf of Rajagiri Seashore CMI School, I'd like to thank Team GYRA for giving us this wonderful opportunity and also to the whole school, Guardian Angel Public School, for this honor. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, and thank you, Father. To introduce the chair for today's symposium, I now request Divan Vinish of Class 8 to take the stage.
It's a great privilege to introduce Dr. Jeswin Joseph, a distinguished postdoctoral researcher at Harvard TH Chan School of Public Health, working under the mentorship of Dr. Kismekia S. Corbett. Dr. Jeswin's research focuses on the antigenic properties of endemic coronaviruses, contributing significantly to immunology and vaccine development. He earned his PhD from Isothirandapuram, where he developed innovative approaches to studying emerging RNA viruses and designed novel vaccine candidates. He has authored multiple high-impact publications and received accolades such as the Inspire PhD Scholarship, Best Oral Presentation Award, and international travel grants. An inspiring mentor and accomplished scientist, Dr. Jeswin Joseph brings invaluable expertise to a symposium. Thank you.
Thank you, Niven, for the wonderful introduction. It's my honor to welcome our esteemed chair, Dr. Jeswin Joseph, to share his thoughts. Sir, please.
Thank you, Nivin and Ansbert, for the warm welcome and wonderful introduction. First and foremost, I would like to extend my gratitude on behalf of GYRA to the team of Guardian Angel School for hosting this virtual symposium. GYRA, Global Young Researchers Academy, is formed, bringing together researchers, scientists, engineers, and many other domain experts to foster research aptitude and scientific temper among young school students. We train school students to pursue research following a research methodology adapted by many renowned universities globally. We also equip these GYRA scholars to actively participate in research and demonstrate their capabilities in scientific fields. Our primary goal is to build a generation of researchers equipped with the tools, knowledge, and mindset to contribute meaningfully to global scientific advancements. We expect to double the pool of global researchers in the next 50 years. This is indeed a long-term vision, and hence we are bound to follow an organizational setup. Once again, a special acknowledgement to Guardian Angels Public School, Cochin, Kerala, a first-generation GYRA school, for its remarkable strides in advancing research. The entire credit goes to the management for their unwavering support, the principal for the consistent follow-ups, and the teachers for their dedicated motivation. A few announcements regarding the virtual symposium. The virtual symposium is being streamed on the official YouTube channel, and participants are encouraged to post their questions in the chat section, and our technical team will relay them to the speaker. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel for research-focused videos and events. And in addition to that, the research presented by the students today consists of ongoing projects, and please feel free to appreciate our students' efforts and gain valuable insights from the work. This virtual symposium bridges the USA and India so that occasional technical glitches might occur. If they do, please stay with us and we'll reconnect with the same link within the 3 to 5 minutes. Thank you all who have joined and hope to have a wonderful symposium. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable words. Now I invite Anna Maria Scheider of Class 8 to introduce our co-chair for this event. Thank you for this opportunity to introduce our dear co-chair. Mrs. Priya Pivi is a committed and accomplished educator with a specialization in physics. With 5 years of teaching experience, she has established herself as a passionate advocate for science education. Mrs. Priya has inspired countless students to explore the wonders of science, fostering a love for learning and a curiosity about the natural world. Her dedication to nurturing young minds made her an invaluable asset to the school community. She plays a pivotal role in guiding and mentoring students in their research endeavors, helping them develop essential skills in scientific inquiry, critical thinking, and problem solving. Thank you. Thank you, Anna. I now extend an invitation to Mrs. Priya PV, our co-chair, to address the gathering. Thank you, Anna, for the introduction. Esteemed guests, respected faculty, dear parents, and beloved GYRA scholars. It's my proud privilege to address you today as the co-chair of this symposium. This event represents jubilation of intellectual curiosity, creativity, and synergy, uniting visionary thinkers in their quest for knowledge and breakthroughs. The Global Young Researchers Academy, GYRA, has been the cornerstone of this journey. GYRA was envisioned as a platform to cultivate the creativity and the potential of young minds, empowering students to explore new ideas and embrace the thrill of scientific inquiry. It is heartening to see how our students have grown within this initiative, taking their first steps into the world of research with enthusiasm and determination. The journey of our students began with an orientation session led by the esteemed scientist Dr. Finosh G. Tangam, whose expertise and mentorship have been pivotal in shaping their outlook on research. They gained the confidence to explore uncharted territories and challenge conventional ideas through his guidance. This foundation was further strengthened under the thoughtful coordination of Joe Sir and our dedicated mentors Matthew Sir and Jasmine Sir, whose support has been instrumental in helping them transform their ideas into impactful projects. Today, as we come together for this symposium, I encourage all our students to engage with the session actively, draw inspiration from our speakers, and push the boundaries of their knowledge. This event is an opportunity to showcase your work and learn, and connect and envision new possibilities for the future. We are deeply grateful to our distinguished guests and speakers for joining us today. Your presence and the valuable knowledge you share are a tremendous inspiration to our students. Let us look forward to a day filled with inspiration, discovery, and meaningful exchanges. I am confident that the symposium will leave a lasting impact on all of us, driving us to pursue excellence in everything we do. Thank you and best wishes for a productive and enlightening event ahead. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am, for your motivational words. To present the introduction of our esteemed guest speaker, I am delighted to invite Tolstoy Logesh of Class 5. Tolstoy, please come forward and take the stage. It's with immense honor and enthusiasm that I have the distinct pleasure of introducing today's distinguished guest, Dr. Sharvari Deshpande, a trailblazer in the fields of reproductive biology and endocrinology. Dr. Sharvari Deshpande is a distinguished researcher with a PhD in Life Sciences from ICMR, National Institute for Research in Reproductive Health at the University of Bombay, India, where she studied the effect of maternal obesity on spermatogenesis and its subsequent impact on placenta and embryo. She has 22 publications and has received multiple awards and scholarships for her research. Her work bridges the gap between reproductive biology and metabolism, moving to influence future preventive interventions against metabolic diseases and related complications. Beyond her research, she is a passionate mentor at GYRA. She is deeply committed to nurturing the next generation of scientific minds by fostering curiosity, encouraging problem solving, continuous steps towards excellence. Her dedication to education and mentorship exemplifies the qualities of a true leader and innovator. Thank you. Thank you, Toaster, for your lovely introduction. I now invite the chair, Dr. Jasmine Joseph, to extend a formal welcome to our guest speaker, Dr. Sharvari Deshpande.
It's my pleasure to introduce or welcome Dr. Sharvari Deshpande, an established research fellow at the Harvard Medical School. Dr. Sharvari has been known for her work in reproductive biology or metabolism, and it is a great privilege for the GYRA scholars to host her as an invited keynote speaker for the virtual symposium. Today, she will be discussing on maternal lifestyle and its influence on next generation. Over to you, Dr. Sharvari.
Is the presentation visible?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you everyone for such a kind introduction, and I would like to thank GYRA team as well as Guardian Angel Public School for inviting me to present my work here at the symposium. So the title of my today's talk is A Journey from Parents to Children, Exploring How Parental Lifestyle Shape the Next Generation. So the outline of my today's talk is, first I'll talk about what is research and its types, my research journey, followed by a brief introduction to my PhD work and detailed information about my postdoc work. Then I will talk about a technique that I use to answer my research problem. Then take-home message, skill sets acquired during my research journey, and career in science. First, talking about what is research. So research is all about asking questions, why, what, where, and how it is happening. That is our research problem. Then you are looking for clues, that is information, through literature search. And then figuring out the answers to learn something new, that is solution. So finding a solution to a problem that has not been solved before, or finding a solution to or finding several solutions to a single problem, or improving upon an already existing problem is something that you call research. Now, there are three different categories of research in biology, that is basic, translational, and clinical research. Basic research is about how does the nature work and what causes the disease. If I give you an example here of bird flu, like bird flu we know is caused by a virus and it comes through animals or chickens, so birds. So that is something known as basic research. Now, using this basic research, you perform translational research using animals, animal models, or cells. So using the information of the basic research, you can ask the question, how can the biological knowledge of this virus we can use to treat that disease, that is the bird flu? So to develop drugs and to understand how the drugs work or the therapies work, you perform translational research. And then you have the clinical research, where you are trying to understand whatever information that you have got through translational research, that the drug works or the therapy works against this disease. You are trying to see whether that treatment or drug is effectively safe and efficient in humans or not. Now, coming to my research journey. So I began my research journey by doing an undergrad course in biotechnology from University of Mumbai, India, followed by 2 years of masters in genetic engineering from D.Y. Patil University, Navi Mumbai. Then I did my project internship at Jaslok Hospital and Research Center, where I studied a tumor that occurs in children called cystic hygroma. It is my experience during this 6 months of internship that inspired me to pursue PhD in life sciences from National Institute for Research in Reproductive Health, Mumbai. And then that brought me to my Harvard, and that's my postdoctoral research work in USA. During this timeline, I also attended a lot of workshops and trainings to develop my technical skills to do research. Coming to my research journey, so which I started during my PhD. So this is my PhD lab at ICMR NIRRH University of Mumbai. And this is my PI, Dr. Nafisa Balasinor. So in the Balasinor lab, I studied how the dad's body fat can affect his child's health. And this journey then brought me to United States, where I started working on the mothers. So this is my lab at Harvard Medical School and Joslin Diabetes Center, and this is my PI, Dr. Laurie Goodyear. And in the Goodyear lab, we are studying the beneficial effects of exercise on health. So I'll be giving you an introduction about what I am doing in the Goodyear lab in detail. So why exercise? So exercise has a lot of health benefits. It improves attention and memory, thereby enhancing academic performance. It builds strong muscle and endurance, thereby giving you muscular fitness. It improves cardiometabolic health and also bone strength. It also reduces risk of depression and anxiety, thereby improving brain health. It can promote health and heart and lung health as well by improving blood pressure and aerobic fitness. It also promotes long-term health, that is, exercising at the early stage of life can reduce the risk of chronic diseases later in life, such as type 2 diabetes and obesity. And it also helps you regulate body weight and reduce body fat. But how these benefits are happening is not known. That means when a person exercises, what are the molecular changes or molecules that are secreted due to exercise, and that's going to these different organs and tissues and giving the benefits. So that is what our lab is studying. So to know how exercise benefits, we study these benefits in humans. But from humans, you cannot get all the organs to study because of the ethical problems. So we mainly use mice or rat for research purpose for our studies. So we have some physical training protocols that we have developed for mice. So these mice that we use are only used for research purpose, and we obtain special permission to use them for our experiments, and we make sure that they are not harmed during the process. So physical training protocols, we have voluntary wheel running and we have treadmill running. So voluntary wheel running is a wheel is attached to a cage in which the mice is present, and these animals, they are very physically active and they like to run. So they run around 5 to 6 kilometers per day on their own. And we also have treadmill running where we put the animals in the treadmill and they run. That is called forced treadmill, but predominantly we use voluntary wheel running as a protocol for our mice models. Now coming to basic translational and clinical research that we do in our lab. So my postdoc problem statement is that can the benefits of exercise during pregnancy be passed on to their children? How and what is the mechanism? So I mainly study the exercise during pregnancy and see the effect of it on child's metabolic health. So I study different organs such as child's liver, child's brain, mother's fat tissue and child's metabolic health, and the role of placenta. So placenta is an organ that connects the mother to the baby, and all the nutrients that whatever the diet or the nutrients that the mother get is getting passed on from the mother to the baby through placenta where it gets processed. So we study that in detail. Now coming to, so today I'll be discussing two of the studies that we have done in our lab. The first is what happens when the mothers exercise during pregnancy and its effect on the offspring metabolic health. So Here we show that exercise during pregnancy not only improves the metabolic health of the immediate children, but as well as the grandchildren. Here the F1 generation and the F2 generation, that is the immediate and the grandchildren, are not exercising, and still you see the improvement in their metabolic health. But the mothers who did not exercise have worse metabolic health for the children. So that is very interesting for us. But the question that we ask here is that what is that molecule that is released during exercise, during pregnancy, when the mothers exercise, and how is it bringing about that improvement in the metabolic health? And when we talk about metabolic health, it's mainly the body weight change, blood glucose levels, bone density. So all these parameters we assess. So to know the mechanism of how this exercise during pregnancy is passing on those benefits to the offspring, we performed another study where we exercised the mothers during pregnancy, and what we observed is that placenta, the organ that connects the mother to the baby, it secretes this important protein called SOD3, which is an antioxidant enzyme. This antioxidant enzyme improves the child's liver glucose metabolism. And this not only is seen at the embryo level, but it is also seen at the adult child, that SOD3 improves glucose metabolism. And therefore, the child is healthy and it doesn't have diabetes. So to assess the blood glucose levels or glucose metabolism in these offspring, we perform a technique called as glucose tolerance test. Now, how does this work is on the x-axis, you see minutes from the start of the test, and then you have on the y-axis, you have the glucose concentration. So in this assay, we first assess the fasting glucose levels in the individual. Then we give them a glucose solution to drink, so their glucose levels increases in their blood. And then we assess their glucose at different time points, like 50 minutes, 100, and 150. And what we see is that slowly the glucose levels starts decreasing. That means that the insulin is working and helping in clearing of that glucose from the bloodstream. But in diabetic patients, what happens is that this glucose is increasing at each time point, and the clearance of the glucose doesn't take place. So this basically technique measures how efficiently your body can clear glucose or sugar from your blood, and lower the curve here represents healthier the person is. So in mice also we do the same test, but instead of giving the glucose solution orally, we give them injections. So again, if the glucose tolerance is low, that means it is a sign of insulin resistance. That means the cells, they don't respond to insulin and the blood glucose is high in the system. And low glucose tolerance lead to pre-diabetes or type 2 diabetes. So in mice, we do the same experiment where we give 2 grams per kg body weight of glucose, and then we collect their blood at different time points. So this is the graph for the child's glucose when the mothers, they exercised, and when the mothers that did not exercise. So what we see is that the mothers that exercise, the child glucose is reduced compared to the mothers who did not exercise, compared to the child whose mothers did not exercise, which is very interesting, and suggesting that exercise during pregnancy can improve or increase glucose tolerance in the offspring. Now coming to impact on humans. So whatever study we performed, that is a translational research that we performed on the mice model, we want to see what happens in humans. So whether mothers who exercise during pregnancy, can it translate whatever we saw in the mice, can it translate in humans? So we assess the SOD3 levels in the mothers in the second trimester of pregnancy who exercised and who did not exercise. And you see that the SOD3 levels increases in the mother's blood as well as in the placenta. So the take-home message here of my research is that should women exercise during pregnancy? The answer is yes. because it helps protect children from developing health problems like obesity and diabetes as they grow older. And understanding how exercise helps can lead to new ways to prevent these health problems from being passed on from parents to kids. So coming to the skill sets that I acquired during my research timeline. So research is not just about doing literature search, finding a research problem, and then finding a solution. But there are a lot of other skills that you acquire during your research timeline. Some of which I have mentioned here, like writing skills. So research, when you're doing research, it also improves your writing skills because you have to communicate your research to the general audience so that they understand the science that you're doing. It also enhances curiosity, finding different research problems, finding solutions to the same research problems, several solutions that you can find. It also improves your teaching experience, how you can communicate and come up with those concepts and make people understand how research works. Next is collaboration, very important. So, for example, if a company is making a drug, so there are a lot of people who are involved in creation of that drug. There is a chemist, there is a biologist. So, chemist will design the drug, the biologist will show how the drug works in the body, and there will be a person who is from a business background who will be helping you sell the drugs. So, this is called collaboration, and this is what also you understand and learn when you do research. Other aspects like ability to learn, critical thinking, also scientific communication, which is very important. How do you explain your research to general public? That's very important. Also problem solving and expert knowledge that you gain while doing research. Expert knowledge, you become very specific to a specific field. You become an expert, and then you can diversify in that same area. Also, project management and time management. This is not just specific to research, but it can be applied to all the aspects of different fields, STEM fields. Time management is not just about uh, managing your time during your research, but also about work-life balance. That is very important because it's not just that if you're focused on research, you will just keep doing research and not give time to your family and your friends. So that also matters, and not just the timing in your work that you're doing, as well as project management, multitasking. That is also something that you learn while doing research. Next, I would like to talk about career in science. So career in science is not just about being a scientist in academia or industry. There are a lot of other options and career options that are available that not many people are aware of. And that is what I want to highlight here today. So I have listed down some of these career options in science, in STEM, that one can go for if they are not only specifically involved in research, such as science consulting. So science consultation is all about having the getting hired by a company or an organization because they know that you are an expert in a particular field, and you can guide and drive them towards a specific goal because you have that knowledge of that particular field. Then you have technical sales and support. So there are a lot of instruments and equipments that we have for science. So how to use that equipment or instrument. Now technical sales person and support group, they also have the background or the expertise in that area, so they help you understand that in detail. Science education outreach programs. So science education means teachers or professors who explain us science and build lessons and concepts that are useful and that are conveyed in a simple language so that kids or college-going students or school students can understand. Then comes to clinical research, which I have already talked about, how important it is. The doctors are involved. There are clinical coordinators that are involved in recruitment of the patients, participants for this research. Then you have science policy and advocacy. So here it's all about working with the government organizations where they come up with these policies for like for example, the organization that I come from, my PhD is from ICMR, that is Indian Council for Medical Research. So we have a lot of these policies for family welfare, or we have policies for maternal and child health. So these are the policies that are important, that are developed so that it is beneficial for the community or the society. Then comes the scientific communication and journalism. This is another very important and interesting field, or a job option right now, which is very happening in India. Uh, so in the newspapers, you have seen these articles that are science columns that we have. So these columnists, they have a little bit of background in science, but uh, they are the ones who approach the researcher who have come up with some new idea or a new research, and then they convey it to the masses in a simple language. So that is what is scientific communication and journalism, and that's a very interesting field uh, to uh, to be in. Then you have intellectual property rights and patent laws. So these are the laws that are made to protect or protect your research or research idea, or a drug or a molecule that you have designed or you have created, and you need to protect it from getting stolen, or getting published or something like that. So there are laws for that, and there are lawyers who are specializing in this aspect, which also is another career option. Then comes research administration and management. So you must have seen in the universities and organizations, there are people who are doing the paperwork for you, and that comes under research administration and management. They are not directly doing science, but they are helping you move forward in your research. Then comes data science and bioinformatics. So data scientists are those who handle very big data sets and help you with complex data analysis. And bioinformatics are the ones that integrates biology and computers, and then they help you assess the big data. So these are some of the careers in science which are not restricted just with being a scientist in academia or industry, but you can use science in different ways and still make a difference in the world. So with this, I would like to acknowledge GYRA, its team, the team members, Guardian Angel Public School Kerala, and kids, schools, and coaches. Thank you so much for your attention, and thank you for inviting me for giving this talk. Thank you. I was given the Q&A before, so I would like to answer those questions. If you.
So, Dr. Sharvari, thank you for like the wonderful presentation. I'm pretty sure that we got an idea like how parental lifestyle or the maternal lifestyle would have a direct effect on like the offsprings, like a scientific reason. We always heard like exercise or your diet has a direct effect on your baby, but now we are having like a scientific evidence which proves that this is indeed true. So maybe I'll start with the Q&A. So the first question which I has, or it's like a combined question. So people in general or pregnant mothers, they prefer to do their exercises at different time points of the day based on their availability. Maybe it might be before a meal, after a meal, or maybe at different climatic conditions. Do you think that this might have a direct effect on what you see on the babies?
I haven't come across any such study where they have done that kind of thing. But in mice, they do see that the circadian rhythm changes can affect the offspring. But I have not come across human studies where they have shown that doing exercise and different time of the day will bring about changes in the babies.
Okay. So because I was curious, because people usually go to the exercise facility maybe early in the morning, maybe late at night.
Right.
Okay, maybe we can go to the audience in person first for the question and answer sessions. So any questions from the school, Guardian Angels?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Good morning, ma'am. My question is, how does parental screen time usage influence children's screen time habit and digital literacy?
Okay. So Yes. So I believe that yes, parental screen time has a primary role in uh, uh, the child's screen time habits because parents, they act as a role model for the child, and they kind of adopt similar habits when they observe their parents. So this could have a negative impact on the child, such as it could lead to screen dependency, exposure to not so not so good content. There is a high risk of that. Also, I would say parental interaction with the child is reduced because of that. So I would say the solution for that would be that you need to first you know uh, encourage that it should not be done, or encourage more of educational screening or creative screens instead of um, or there has to be some boundaries needs to be set, I would say, for this kind of issue. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mhm.
Any more questions from the school?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Ma'am, my question is, how does the parental obesity influence the likelihood of childhood obesity?
Okay. So, yes, there are a lot of studies that have shown that children to obese parents, they have a higher risk of becoming obese in the future. And this could be mainly due to genetic, environmental, and behavioral factors. Now, genetic factors are hard to modify, or hard to they can be managed, the genetic factors, because of the mutation from the parents to the child. It can get passed on. So there you can have management of the disease condition, but for the environmental, such as dietary consumption, like high fat diet or high sucrose diet consumption, it can be prevented, it can be restricted. Also, exercising, engaging the kids with a lot of physical activity can be helpful in preventing childhood obesity, and as well as creating awareness. Like family doctors need to create that awareness when when the parents are deciding to have a child. It's need to be that awareness needs to be created by the doctors as well. So yes.
Okay, ma'am.
Mhm.
Now we'll go to the online viewers. So for a
Okay.
couple of quick questions. So one of the questions is like, could you please explain again scientific communication and journalism?
Okay. Oh, scientific communication and journalism. So scientific communication is so what I was explaining before is that in your newspapers you have scientific columns where they talk about the research that's happening in one organization. So the columnist who wrote that column has a little bit of science background, but they are not scientists. So they usually approach the scientists from a different university or organization where they are performing research, and then they interview them, and then whatever research they're doing, they communicate that in these newspapers or scientific columns or magazines in the language that the public can understand. So that is what is scientific communication. There are a lot of scientific portals where people write these scientific columns of your research, and it is explained in such a way that you make people understand how it works in a simple language, in a lay language, so that the common man can understand. Also, scientific communication can be a part of being a part of an editorial team, even in a publication house, where you are involved in editing, writing, copywriting. These kind of skills are also comes under scientific communication.
Thank you. Maybe one last question from the audience. Like,
Yeah.
so typically, usually doctors say like when you are pregnant, you have to take a lot of rest and you should not do so much exercise and stuff like that. So how can exercise be like good practice for pregnant women?
Okay, so that's a very good question. Yes, so physical activity for pregnant women is different from the ones that we get to see like a normal individual will do. For during pregnancy, there are a lot of exercises like brisk walking or walking is like the most sorry commonly used. I'm so sorry. Let me just.
That's okay.
Sorry. Brisk walking or yoga and meditation. A lot of these things are recommended. But usually it happens like it is usually recommended in the second trimester of pregnancy. So even in my study, we showed that the pregnant women that we have recruited, they were in the second trimester of pregnancy, not the first. And also it also not just exercise but also healthy consumption of the diet is also very important to get the health benefits, especially in humans. I would say that also matters. So combination effects can give you a better metabolic health of the offspring.
Thank you. And is there some scientific evidence that during pregnancy, when you do exercise, does it affect the child's mental health? And compared to, yeah, and just combining with one more question, like, and how long do you think like this phenotypes, what you see, or the factors or the glucose tolerance, for example, if you see in a kid, how long do you think it will last in the kid, whatever is get transferred from the parent?
So the first study that I showed, it was about the first immediate children and then grandchildren, right? So this immediate children that we are talking about, we have studied the glucose, metabolism at different time points. So different like adolescent and adult and then old age. So we see that it persists till the old age in immediate as well as grandchildren. So that is very interesting that the persistence is there for such a long time. And even if the child is not doing any physical activity, it still remains that benefits still remains. So yeah, that is something, it's a long-term thing. So that's what, also there are studies where people who have done exercises during their adolescent and during their adulthood, and they are likely to have reduced risk of all these chronic diseases in old age. So that has also been studied, and that kind of shows that how exercise is so beneficial.
Thank you. Thank you for that, Dr. Sharvari. It was great having you for the virtual symposium. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Sharvari Deshpande, for inviting and intellectually stimulating session. To express our heartfelt gratitude, I now call upon Mrs. Nida EA to felicitate and appreciate our guest speaker. Felicitations to Dr. Sharvari Deshpande. The GYRA Virtual Symposium 2025 is enlightened by your outstanding presentation, A Journey from Parents to Children, exploring how parental lifestyle shapes the next generation. Your remarkable research journey from exploring the impact of maternal obesity on offspring health to investigate the effects of maternal exercise during pregnancy on offspring and grandchildren is truly commendable. Key highlights from your presentation that resonated with us include exercise benefits metabolic health by reducing the risk like diabetes and obesity. Babies born to exercising moms have better blood sugar control and increased levels of SOD3. The role of placenta in passing exercise benefits to children and grandchildren. Your groundbreaking findings have far-reaching implications for developing innovative strategies to prevent and manage metabolic disorders across generations. We celebrate your achievement and recognize the immense value of your contributions to the scientific community. Your work is a shining example of the power of the scientific inquiry to transform lives and improve societal health. Please accept our warmest congratulations and sincerest appreciations for your remarkable achievement. Thank you. Thank you, Neeta ma'am, for your benevolent gesture. As a token of appreciation, we would like to present a memento to our guest speaker, Dr. Sharvari Deshpande. I request our principal, Reverend Father Will Joseph OCD, to kindly present the memento.
Thank you, ma'am, for your insightful talk during this GYRA Virtual Symposium. Kindly accept our moment.
Thank you.
I would like to have unified announcements for all participants to ensure full engagement throughout the symposium. The virtual symposium is being streamed on the official YouTube channel. Participants are encouraged to post their questions in the chat section, and our technical team will relay them to the speakers. Don't forget to subscribe to the GYRA YouTube channel for research-focused videos and events. The research work presented today consists of ongoing projects. Feel free to appreciate our students' efforts and gain valuable insights from their work. This virtual platform bridges the USA and India so that occasional technical glitches may occur. If they do, please stay with us. We will reconnect via the same link within 3 to 5 minutes. To introduce the GYRA units of Gleneagles Public School, Manjummel, I am delighted to have Mrs. Ramya Joseph, a GYRA coach, with us. Take your place at the podium, ma'am.
Curiosity is the wick in the candle of learning. Greetings to everyone present here. With great delight, I introduce the research units of Guardian Angels Public School, which has been working under GYRA. At the core of this lies the invaluable guidance of our advisor, Dr. Jeswin Joseph, and the unwavering dedication of our teachers, who has empowered our students to think critically and explore their full potential. Please be advised that the projects are currently in their preliminary stages of development with ongoing research and analysis. I proudly present Unit 1, doing research on the topic fertility determination on water bank soil. This study aims to give awareness about soil infertility and to encourage people to keep the water bodies clean. The unit members are Nivin Vinish, Alvin James, Alfred James, Tolstoy Logesh, and Esprada. Over to Unit 1.
Greetings to all who are participating in this event. Today, Unit 1 is going to present the research topic, a study on fertility determination of water bank soil. Firstly, let's have a look at the contents. First, we are going to give an introduction to our project, and then we will move on to the objectives and then to the methodology. Then we will discuss some expected outcomes, and at the end, we will give out the conclusion to our project. First is the introduction. Over to Pranav.
As we all know, the soil close to water banks are mostly fertile. This happens so as the mountainside soils are actually washed when the precipitation occurs. These have essential nutrients that are needed for the plant growth. This also reduces the need for excessive irrigation, as it has high capacity of water retention that prevents water wastage. They also store carbon to adapt to the climate change by reducing the atmospheric carbon dioxide levels. Here we have put a picture of irrigation in Uttar Pradesh, because here they also use the water bank soil to plant sugar canes as the cultivation for the state. So we plan to adopt the same example in Manjummel also. The problem statements. So at the current scenario, we know that water banks are getting polluted due to the improper disposal of industrial waste. So our study aims to understand the fertility of water banks near Manjummel and provide awareness to the local farmers for improving their crop production. Next is the objectives. Over to Torsten.
To determine the fertility of water bank soil near Manjummel, we will collect some soil samples and differentiate them as fertile and infertile soil. And then we will compare them. And then we will identify and compare the difference. To identify the source, we will collect some water samples and check whether it is polluted or not. Over to Nivis.
Now let's have a look at the methodology. Our methodology is such that we are firstly going to collect the materials such as paper cups, soil samples, seedlings, etc. The next step will be to plant in the plants and monitor the impacts of soil on the plants. After studying the impacts, we are going to note these down for supporting our objectives. And next step will be to identify the infertile water banks according to the samples we have collected. And then we will aware and literate people about these infertile water bodies. This will help people identify infertile water banks and not use those soils for cultivation or any other farming activity. Now let's have a look at the research process workflow. This workflow mainly focuses on the process of planting the plants and identifying differences between fertile and infertile soils. So the process of planting the plants is as discussed earlier. It's kept simple so that people can also understand the impacts. We are going to collect equal sized containers. We will make sure that the containers collected are planted with same aged plants and equal capacity of soil in it. So the research will be more scientific and more accurate. And to identify the differences between fertile and infertile soil, we can check for the pH content using the pH meter, which will indicate how much acidic or polluted the soil is. We can also extract NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. These nutrients are essential for plant growth. So thus, extracting them means that the soil is fertile if there's a high content of it. And if there's not, the soil is low in nutrients. By identifying such differences, we can make people aware of the infertile water bodies and literate them about the infertile notifications and the fertile indications. We are also planning to simulate a river flow with the bank and timely dropping 1 to 2 drops of pesticides so that we can identify each stage of visual soil pollution on the water banks. Now let's have a look of some expected outcomes to our project. Over to Pranav.
By the end of this project, we will be able to determine between fertile and infertile soil. We will also try to stop soil pollution in the Manjummel area. So we will also be discussing about what are the factors that differentiate between fertile and infertile soil. And we will also aware people about the which are fertile areas and which are not, so that we can promote agricultural to safer grounds. So next I invite Alvin for the short recap.
Let's have a short recap. We all know waterborne soil is considered fertile and really good for agriculture. It can be seen in Uttar Pradesh sugarcane cultivation. But nowadays, we cannot say that waterborne soil is completely fertile, as water bodies are increasingly polluted day by day. So we have chosen this topic to identify such polluted water bodies. We will make people aware and encourage them not to pollute river, water bodies, waterborne soil, etc. instead of polluting them. Let's have a conclusion over to Alfred. By the above, we are certainly sure to be able to identify the difference between infertile and fertile soil. In doing so, we shall promote agriculture growth to safer fertile area and stop agriculture practicing in infertile grounds. On doing so, we can increase agriculture products. We can increase the production of agriculture products and reduce the chances of chemical pesticides on crop. This fertile soil shall reduce the chances of error in soil production. We must find new ways to increase the soil fertility that are quite eco-friendly, not just using chemical pesticides on crop. We will encourage people not to pollute waterborne soil. Instead, keep it clean. By finding the difference between fertile and fertile soil, we can make people reiterate, and they will be also be able to identify the infertile and fertile soil by themselves. Over to Pranav.
So let us find out the differentiation between the fertile and infertile soil. Firstly is the pH level. In fertile soils, the pH level is always the basic and it is slightly acidic. That is, it has a pH of 6.0 to 7.5. But in infertile soils, this is either too acidic or too alkaline. There's a high acidic and basic substance because of the improper disposal of waste of the industrial areas. Next, the matter content. In fertile soils, we can see that there's a high organic matter, and this improves the structure and gives it high water retention capacity. In fertile soils, they don't have this organic matter, making them poor in holding the water. So it will result in water wastage. Now the texture. The texture of fertile soils is kind of sand, silt, and clay. A loamy soil that provides aeration and is good for water retention. It will also allow the free. In fertile soil, they don't have much aeration. Now let's check for the nutrient availability. In fertile soils, they contain adequate levels of essential nutrients such as nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus, and they at least have no deficiency in nutrients. But in fertile soil, this is not the case. They have one or the other deficiency in the nutrient. Color. In fertile soil, due to the heavy organic matter presence, it is kind of very dark and black. But in infertile soil, it's pale and or light color, indicating the less presence of nutrients in the soil. Now, the growth observation. In fertile soils, they support healthy, vigorous, and stable plant growth with fewer signs of nutrient deficiency. But in infertile soil, they show one or the other problem in it. Now, the microbial activity. Since there's a high structure of organic matter in the infertile soil, we can see that the microbes will convert the organic matter to the essential nutrients. That will decompose the organic matter for the nutrients that are essential for the plant growth. But in fertile soil, since they don't have organic matter, there is no microbes to support their structure. In turn, they are destroyed. Next, I hand this over to Nivin.
Here are some references that we use to support some information about our project. We have like the soil fertility project, soil fertility examination, soil testing, etc. These projects provide us with the points that we are able to come up with in the project. Now, we would like to take the opportunity to extend our gratitude to all those who are participating in this event. Firstly, we would like to thank the GYRA Research Committee for their invaluable support. Secondly, we would like to thank our advisors, Matthew sir and Jeswin sir, for their support. And then nextly, we would like to thank our coaches, Priyamis and Ramyamis, for their coordination. We would also like to thank our principal, Reverend Father Vinu Joseph OCD, and our vice principal, Mrs. Ramsey MG. Last but not least, I would like to thank all the GYRA scholars and all the participants in this virtual symposium. Thank you all.
Thank you, Unit 1. It was a lovely presentation. So we'll have the question and answer session right now. Maybe I can start with a couple of questions. So you are talking a lot about awareing people, like once you identify the infertile soil, you will aware the people about how bad it is or how to improve your agriculture and so on. So what is the best way to start an awareness as a student community?
As a student community, the best approach will be to start from the school campus itself. As we are given more facilities here, we can start from our school to spread our ideas and data regarding our project from our school. And then there are the nearby schools. We can also share our ideas and data of the project in our school, then to the other schools. And from there, the students and parents will be equally aware of the fertility of the soil. Then we will consult some tips from the Kerala Soil Fertility Determination team, which is also available, and we can take some tips from them to spread our awareness, and thus we will able to aware so many people starting from our school and ending at the entire locality.
Thank you. Dr. Sharvari, do you have any questions for the students?
Yes. It was a great talk. Thank you very much. My question is that once you find out that the soil is infertile, can you make the infertile soil fertile in any way? I mean, because you are losing that whole land because the soil is infertile, right? So can you regain the fertility of the soil?
Actually, yes, ma'am. According to the traditional methods, which we are not quite aware of, planting fodder plants such as peas, etc., and other leguminous plants can actually lock in the nitrogen, which is one of the essential nutrients for plants inside the soil. It will enrich the soil with some other nutrients. And we can also say that cow dung, which is rich in also NPK, as the cows feed on grasses, they are rich in NPK. So by mixing the soil with the cow dung and planting fodder plants, we can enrich the soil fertility, which and it will also allow larger crop production also.
Thank you.
Thank you,
now we'll move on to the questions that we have online from the viewers. So do you think like fertilizer use can affect the water quality or the soil quality?
Yes, sir. If we use most of the chemical fertilizers, it will affect the soil. It might also reduce the organic matter content in the soil. And it will also make the soil contaminated or more acidic and polluted, as the chemical fertilizers can also affect the nutritional availability of the soil. Unless the fertilizer is natural, for example, cow dung, it is also a natural fertilizer and it can also enrich the soil with several nutrients such as NPK. So unless the fertilizers are organic, the soil can stay safe. Or we use chemical fertilizers, the soils are getting increasingly contaminated.
Thank you. You're absolutely right, because a lot of traditional approaches can be used apart from the fertilizers that we are using, like the chemical pesticides and so on. That was really great. So maybe we can move to the next unit for the presentation. Thank you once again for your lovely presentation.
Thank you, sir.
With great pleasure, I introduce Unit 2, doing research on the topic Impact of Pollution on Water Quality in Water Resources near Manjummel. Their study aims to analyze the impact of pollution on water quality and the surrounding ecosystem. The unit members are Ansa Fatima, Anna Maria Shaito, Julina Jijo, Ahassin Mohammed, Merlin Roy, and Fami Raja. I'll turn it over to Unit 2.
To all present here. Today, the Unit 2 is presenting our research topic, a study on the impact of pollution on water quality in water resources near Manjummel, Kerala. This is an ongoing project in its initial stage. Water is the backbone of our ecosystem, and its quality is essential for human health and environment. Water pollution has many negative effects on the environment. Over to Julina. Effects of pollution Peria. We know that Peria is known as the lifeline of Kerala. But nowadays we can't say that because Greenpeace in India describes the lower Peria as cesspool of toxins and Alur because industries in the Alur industry zone discharge waste into the river. Thus, Peria is heavily polluted and the river water quality has been severely degraded. Next is impact of pollution on water quality. Effects on water quality in nearby locality. Eutrophication is the process of an excessive nutrient or water cause oxygen depletion, changes in water acidity affecting the aquatic life. Next is impact of human health like waterborne diseases like cholera, typhoid, diarrhea, etc. It also affects cancer risk when the drinking water is contaminated by the substances like arsenic, nitrates, etc. can damage DNA. Next is neurological damage. Neurotoxic chemicals like lead, mercury caused in neurological damages if it is consumed in water. Next is impact on environment. Ecosystem imbalance, loss of biodiversity can also affect the food chain of the animals. Over to Ansa. Let's see the types of bacteria affecting in a polluted water. The bacteria are E. coli, Salmonella, and Cryptosporidium. The above case study is an example for drinking water sold by roadside vendors in Delhi. And India found that the number of coliform bacteria present ranging from 14 to more than 1,600 per 100 milliliter. This is a newspaper cutting of this incident happened on Delhi. Over to Anna. Now let's check the problem statement. Pollution from industrial discharge, domestic waste and urban runoff is degrading water quality in water resources near Manjummel, posing risk to ecosystem and public health. Assessing the water pollution in these water bodies is critical to prevent disease outbreaks and help to support public health. By over to farming.
Objectives. We investigate the current state of water quality in nearby Manjummel. Next, we analyze the impact of pollution on water quality in the surrounding ecosystem. So this can help us to identify the main pollutants and avoid the people who are using this. Over to Ahazin.
Methodology. First, we have to collect equal amount of water from different sources. We are mainly concentrating on wells and streams near our school, and we will record our observations. We are looking for both physical and chemical changes. The physical changes in a polluted water are looks cloudy, bad odor, and drastic color change. The chemical changes in a polluted water are the amount of pH, turbidity, and heavy metals will be above than its original limit. This is a reference page we have used for our project. Over to Ansa.
These are some expected outcomes compared to pure water and polluted water. In the pure water, the pH value is neutral, 7. But in the polluted water, the pH value is greater than 6.5. Turbidity. Turbidity in a pure water is lesser than 5 NTU. NTU refers to nephromatic turbidity unit. In a polluted water, turbidity is greater than 5 NTU. Over to farming.
Pure water have trace amount of various substances, including heavy metals too. However, the presence of heavy metal seen in pure water is very less. Heavy metals seen in polluted water. Heavy metal can be also seen in polluted water too. Heavy metals like lead, nickel, copper, cadmium, mercury, etc. can cause harmful to human health, and the environment. Over to Ahsan.
Conclusion. The study highlights the need for urgent attention to address the water quality in water resources near Manjummel. The source of pollution must be identified and controlled, and measures must be taken to treat and manage the wastewater effectively. The source of pollution must be identified, and we should control the water pollution. The government, industries, and water authorities must work together to implement sustainable practices and to protect the water resources in the region. Over to Merlin.
These are some references we chose for our project. We would like to express our sincere thanks to Team GYRA, advisor Dr. Justin Joseph, Management Matthews, respected Principal Reverend Father Vinu Joseph OCD, Vice Principal Mrs. Ramsey Ma'am, and GYRA scholars Mrs. Priya Miss and Remya Miss. Thank you.
Thank you, Unit 2. It was really a great presentation, focusing on something which is very socially relevant, like the water quality and its issues. So we can move to the question answer session. First of all, before going to a deep analysis of the metals or the pH in a laboratory setting, so the common man, when he sees a water body, what is the easiest way to figure out whether it's contaminated or not? How can he just figure out whether it has some sort of contamination?
Thank you, sir, for the question. For a common man, it can be they can notice the changes. They can notice changes by observation, like color change, and the smell of the water. If it is polluted, the smell of the water will be like a bad smell, and also there is fishes and the living organism cannot be live in that. So
yeah, thank you. So any questions from Dr. Sharvari?
Hi, great talk. I have a question that can you filter the polluted water in AquaGuard? Like using the AquaGuard filter, can you filter the polluted water?
thank you for the question. We are still in the research. We will think about this question and we will also include in our project.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
So we have a couple of questions from the online viewers. So one of the question is what are the steps that industries, because major pollution, water pollution is from the industry waste dumping, right? So based on your concept, what are the steps that industries could take to prevent water pollution? Just a few insights from your mind, what can industries do to prevent water pollution?
will you repeat this question?
So as you mentioned before, industries are one of the leading cause of water pollution. They release a lot of toxic wastes into the system. So what do you think the step that an industry expert or industries can take to prevent water pollution?
So we can treat a waste. First, we want to discharge into the river. Before.
So how do you have any idea? Just out of curiosity, do you know is there some way to actually treat the waste or something like that?
No.
The water getting treated or something or do you have some plants nearby which can actually do that near Cochin, Kerala? Okay, so just out of curiosity, because right now I think industries might have some panels, but still they release a lot of waste to the system. So we should have something more like a sustainable system, so that the water or the waste that comes out of the industries, they might have to be filtered multiple rounds, so that all the metals that you detect or all the contaminants that you detect from the water, all these has to be treated first, and the fresh or the clean water which is filtered has to go into the system. So is there any way to like I think it will be similar to what Dr. Sharvari was asking, like, or similar to the questions that we got in the first session. Is there a way to like make the polluted water like a pure or clean form?
Sir, please can you repeat the question?
Yeah, so I was just asking, like, do you know or have you come across some ways by which you can make the polluted water to like a clean water?
We need any technology like purificators, so
Yeah.
clean that water.
Yeah, so we should find something like there should be something like, but depending on the what you have in the water, maybe it might be some harmful chemicals or maybe it's like a toxic bacteria or something like that. So depending on what you actually see, that's what I was telling you. So project is so socially relevant because once you identify like the basic factors which contribute to the pollution, then we have to decide like what sort of a filtration system or what sort of like an approach should be used to treat the cause which is actually polluting the water. So that is really great. Once again, unit 2 and for both the units. Thank you.
Thank you, GYRA scholars, for presenting the topics on fertility determination on water bank soil and a study on the impact of pollution on water quality in water resources. It's my pleasure to welcome Dr. Jasmine Joseph, the chair of today's symposium, for a special announcement of the next session of GYRA. Over to you, sir.
I hope it was like a wonderful session. We had a wonderful talk by our invited speaker. He learned a lot about maternal or parental exercises. And then we had 2 wonderful presentations by the young student scientists who will be like future scientists, which both of them focusing on like very physiologically or so socially relevant topics like water pollution and like soil fertility. And I'm so excited to announce like the next GYRA Virtual Symposium that will be on February 23rd, 2025. And the host school is Sharon English School, Mumbai, India. And we have an eminent speaker, Dr. Shaiju S. Nasir, who is like a faculty fellow at Indian Institute of Space Science and Technology, Thiruvananthapuram. So he will be discussing on light tissue interactions and its innovative approaches for disease diagnosis. So hope to see you all for the GYRA Virtual Symposium on February 23rd at 10 a.m. Indian Standard Time. So we have one more interesting announcement. So it's about the International Research Conference for Children, IRCC 2025. So we had the last symposium in last June in Cochin, Kerala, and this time we are hosting the symposium in Mumbai. So it is actually hosted by Mewat Kesari Bhavan in West Mumbai, India. And the conference is from 13th to 15th June 2025, the International Research Conference for Children, 13th to 15th June 2025 at Mewat Kesari Bhavan, Mumbai, India. So this is actually organized by STEM for Girls USA and the GYRA USA and India units, both together in collaboration, and VHS Mumbai. So if you haven't seen or if you haven't known about the International Research Conference for Children, you can visit our YouTube channel. So we have details of like the previous IRCC conferences, how innovative and how informative was it for the students and the teachers into the who are new into the scientific platform or who are already established in the field. So the registrations are up, and please try to join us for the IRCC conference 2025. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I now invite S. Pranav Devrata of Class 9 to deliver the vote of thanks.
I'm extremely honored to extend my gratitude on behalf of the Guardian Angels Public School after this enriching symposium. First and foremost, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our chair, speaker, and panelists for sharing your invaluable insights. expertise, and perspectives. Your contributions have truly elevated this event and left us with much to ponder and apply in our respective fields. My heartfelt gratitude goes to our principal, Reverend Father Vinu Joseph OCD, the motivator behind this virtual symposium, and also to the Vice Principal, Mrs. Ramsey MJ, for your support and guidance. To our participants, thank you for your active engagement and thoughtful presentation. Your enthusiasm and curiosity made this event a dynamic and interactive experience for all. I would also like to acknowledge the tireless efforts of the GYRA team and technical support team, whose behind-the-scene work ensured the seamless execution of this virtual gathering. Your dedication and attention to detail did not go unnoticed. Let me express my sincere gratitude towards the dedicated teachers and supportive parents for all you have done for the success of the symposium. And also to the audience who joined via YouTube to witness the virtual symposium, and also to those who posted the questions. As we conclude, let us carry forward the knowledge, connection, and ideas we've gained today and translate them into a meaningful action. Thank you all for making this symposium a memorable success. Thank you.
Thank you, Pranav. As we conclude this symposium, we hope that the knowledge shared and connections made will ignite a passion for scientific discovery that extends far beyond these walls. Thank you for joining us on this journey of scientific inquiry. Thank you.
Thank you, spectators, for this wonderful support extended. Looking forward for similar support in the upcoming events by GYRA. And wishing you all a patriotic Republic Day ahead today. Jai Hind. Thank you.